How you doing, folks? I hope I find you well. I'm catching up on what I started last night, which was talking about structure for this particular mod. I suppose we could call it a mod. People don't tend to call FM things mods, but they really are mods by any other name, which makes me a modder, which is nice because I've also in the past been a mod in the sense of moderator, and I also like Paul Weller in The Who. Anyway, little one there for those of you at the back who are listening carefully. We're going to look at cups today. Very, very briefly. I'm going to create one and then destroy it. I hope that works out okay. But my aim is that we have a little look at cups. I'm going to show you one from scratch. I'm going to also tinker about and create what am I going to create? I'm going to be creating one of the cups I like to play around with. First off, I'm going to show you a very, very, very rough overview on structure for these cups. So here is a dirty big list of cups. The FAI Senior Challenge Cup. Basically, whenever you're setting up these leagues, they normally want a top division and they want, or your main division, your division that plays into Europe or CONCACAF Champions League or whatever it is you're setting up. And they also want a main cup. In this case, it's the FAI Senior Cup. You can set them up how you want, but they do need kind of to have that continental competition serving cup set up. In my case, I'm going to keep it fairly straightforward. Single game knockout, all teams get to enter. Probably the uppermost teams enter later. We're probably going to have a few different kinds of cups, as you can see. Now, this is again online. You can go and have a look at it. There'll be a link at the end. It's in the same document on Google as the leagues, so you can have a look. And again, I've put a suggestion page in there. Please go wild. Come up with something interesting or unique or remarkable, and I will consider it. And if it's just crazy enough to maybe work, I will put on an American accent and do that thing, because that could be a bit of fun. I'd really love your feedback and your ideas about what you think might be good. Either way, my main two of the things I'm not going to look at Super Cups today. I'll look at that at another point. But I do feel that every league champion, however low the league, should have at least one Super Cup that they play in. How I'm going to do that, I've no idea. Every autonomous body should have a League Cup. So you saw the Southeast Senior Championship. You saw the Wexford first, second, third, whatever I set up. You saw the Carlow Kilkenny Premiership and Championship. Well, there should be a Carlow and Kilkenny Cup, or at least a Carlow Cup and a Kilkenny Cup. And that's what I'm actually going to do. So I've kind of already changed that before I got to it. In terms of structure, there are a number of these things that actually exist. The FAI Cup exists. The League of Ireland Cup, which is a League Cup, exists. I'm going to change up the format. I'm going to have groups, then a knockout for a few of these. The FAI Intermediate Cup, similarly so. The FAI Junior Cup is colossal. You qualify to get into it by doing particularly well in your local leagues and then entering or applying to enter. And these are going to have groups, then knockouts, because we're looking at hundreds of clubs. Slipping on down, I don't think I have included it because it's too big to manage. I think it's kind of covered by the Leinster Senior Intermediate Cup. Basically, the largest cup competition in Europe is the Leinster Junior Cup. It's bigger than the FAI Junior Cup because practically any team in Leinster can enter. And I think it has something like, correct me where I'm wrong, 730 teams enter. It takes a long time to run off. Most teams are gone very quickly. But if you're one of the teams that get through to the final, it's kind of legendary to win it. I think New Ross Celtic, as I grew up with them, got into the final once and might have won it in 1983, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. To get to the final is astounding. To get to the semi-finals is amazing. But we're not actually going to do it because there are so many cups. I don't want to overwhelm everybody. So those first four all already exist. The First Division Shield used to exist. It used to be actually for the top tier, and the Shield was the pre-season tournament. I'm going to give it to the second tier. The third tier is going to get the Second Division Shield, and they're going to be 2-leg knockouts all the way to a final. Now you're thinking, that's quite a few games. It's like, well, no, not really. You've got 2 games, and you could well be out. 8 teams will go out in the first round, and then there'll be another 4 go out in the next round. Second Division Shield, it's a little bit bigger because it's 32 teams, but again, it only becomes an issue if you get to the final. 2-leg championship final for the Second Division Championship, and it'll be the same for, I think, Leinster, the top of Leinster, and the Leinster Senior Cup, Leinster Championship will be played between the winners of Leinster's North and South divisions. So Leinster Senior Cup, top 72 placed Leinster teams. I might trim that down. I do want to kind of include all the Leinster teams that are in the top 3 tiers, and then a few of the senior teams. So 72 might be too much, might be okay. I'm concerned that there's a good chance that if you're in the second division, or say the top senior league or intermediate team, you could be playing an awful lot of games, and that's good. But I don't also want to have I don't want to be managing there and to literally be playing 3 games a week all season. Munster Senior Cup, yep, as is. Now the Connacht and Ulster Senior Cups, they're splits. They're going to again include the top 32 placed and top 24 placed teams, because there's not as many of them. I don't want really Junior C teams to be playing in the in the Ulster Junior Cup or the Ulster Senior Cup. So these numbers might get changed. That's where I'm thinking right now. The Red Hand Trophy is extra regional, as I call it. Single game knockout. The teams from Ulster outside of the Republic of Ireland. So you've got the likes of Derry City, though I want to kind of make it the Derry B team for understandable reasons. You've got Derry City, and any teams I'm going to include. Again, if I decide against including teams, it won't happen, but I think we'll throw in a couple. Leinster Senior and Munster Senior Intermediate Cups. Removing out the what's the CC again? The South East and Combined Counties Leagues. Obviously, we don't have to remove the Combined Counties and South East Leagues from the Munster Junior. But the Munster Junior, I kind of want to kick out... the Munster Senior Intermediate, I kind of want to include the Waterford teams in that competition as well. Intermediate and junior sides there. South East Shield, hopefully including teams from Waterford and Tipperary. The Midlands Shield, all the combined counties teams. I'm kind of wanting to put in Roscommon teams there, but that's me. Where were we? Yeah, Connacht Junior Cup, Ulster Junior Cup. Yeah, these are fairly straightforward. And then we get down as far as sort of county cups. The Cork Junior Cup being all the junior teams from... I can't think of the name of the place now. From Cork. Let me see. Oh, I don't have it here. There was a Kildare Junior Cup as well. I have it listed. It clearly is meant to be there someplace, but we won't worry about it. Or Kildare? No, I don't want Kildare. What am I talking about? Kildare? No, that's a bad idea. But Dublin Junior Cup is going to be huge. So is the Cork one, to be honest. Tipperary, Shannon, Kerry Cup will be all teams from Kerry. A Shannon Cup will be Clare and Limerick combined. So the rare occasion when I'm combining things as well. Galway, Roscommon, Leitrim, Northwest being just Sligo and Mayo, Donegal being all teams from Donegal, Cavan and Monaghan being all the teams from Cavan and Monaghan, which is currently, according to the game, I think 1. Well, maybe 2. Ballyduff might be involved. But either way, we're going to be adding a lot of teams. So you have a rough idea there of what I'm looking to create. There are tons of divisions there. And this could take me quite a while to get on top of. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you the basics of creating cups. The bare basics now. Don't be expecting anything glamorous or galanta. Let's look at cups here. Click on cups. Add cup. So the FA Cup qualifies. Select competition. Only competitions that do not have any teams in the database can be chosen. Interesting that. This is a new, it's the Senior Challenge Cup. That's the name of the thing. So, yeah, check the name of the cup you want. Senior Challenge Cup. Select teams. Now you can do this two different ways. You can go by division and pick however many teams from it, or I believe you can sort of create a secondary division which includes teams from a location. This is something I have to experiment with. Don't worry, you don't get to see the experiment. Now, as you can imagine, this can take hours to do, especially when you've got like dozens and dozens of leagues. I haven't actually counted how many leagues I plan to have in this yet, but we'll figure that out in due course. You can just see I'm slowly adding all the teams in. And yes, I am going to delete this at the end. All going according to plan. We don't need under 19s. Ulster Senior League. I mean, you could argue it's better to come from the bottom. Oh, Irish Lower Division. That generally ends up becoming a large foundation, we'll say, for the Combined Counties League. So you can see up to 129, 140. I'm wondering how many. And obviously, another thing, it automatically picks all the teams in that division. But if you decided you only wanted like 5 teams from there, it's gonna take it. And if you pick 5, I think it picks at random. You can tinker it more elsewhere. Right now it says 11. So, and it'll pick however many teams you have selected for that division. If you could put in more than it, it might get a bit grumpy. Galway Premier Division. One really nice thing is it's very good about not... Here's where it gets really tedious. It's very good about not making it possible to pick the same option twice. Because I don't know about you, but if it was me, I'd end up doing something stupid like putting in the Limerick 3 or 4 times because I've mistaken it. So you can see already we've got quite a few divisions here. And yes, exciting television. This is what YouTube was designed for. Watch a guy very slowly click on things to add them. So, how was your day? What have you... Did you get that promotion that you were looking for? Your boss is a jerk anyway. I wouldn't pay any attention to him. Or her. Whichever it is. Whatever you're having yourself. Anyway, so right now this is interesting because this is actually telling me how many teams exist currently in different leagues. Some of these leagues will get thrown away, refocused, reorganized. So we're down to the last... I don't know how many, endless amount of leagues. You can see this is going to be a task. Developing all this, making sure all the teams are populated, they all have colours. And they all have away colours. Because here's a thing that I discovered a number of years ago. If they don't have colours set, they're automatically all blue and white. So if I populate the Wexford Premier Division with 7 completely new teams and I don't do anything, that means there are 7 teams playing blue and white. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 leagues so far. And that's probably not going to cut it. We're going to have a lot more than 24 leagues before too long. 254 teams already in some league somewhere. And I know that includes the soon-to-be defunct Irish Lower Division FC. Settings. Number of legs. 1. We do not need more than 1 leg. Extra time penalties, we will keep them traditional penalties. We'll stick with 3 from 7 as that is sort of the FAI setup, and we'll keep the games on Saturdays. So we finished that. We have an Irish Senior Challenge Cup. So let's have a look down here. You can see over here I can tinker with stuff. What do we need to do? So knockout rounds, 254 teams in the competition, and we can tinker here as well. We can actually select specific teams. So let's add one, and let's competition, search, add condition, usual thing, contains it is, and Ireland, and D. Okay. And let's open this out a bit. Irish Group A, B, C, and D. All these different competitions. So we're going to go and have a look. See all these dozens. Okay. Irish Northern Elite. Let's see what teams they have. No, they mustn't have a team. So let's go back, clear that. Actually, let's remove that. And go to the Irish Southern District. I'll take 3. We should be able to access that now. Clearly not. Because I know I've used this in the past to get specific teams out. I'll have to have a look at that again a little bit later, because I know at some point I'm oh, hang on, let me pull that back so it's not dwarfing. There, that looks a bit better. Yeah, I know there's something I can do there, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, get teams from league. So I could pick get random teams, get first teams only, get specific team, get last winner, get last runners up. So that's going to be a useful thing to know for elsewhere. Competitions to finish before setting up. So if you need to have this, I like the second division championship. The second divisions will have to be over, and we'll get the winners from it. Seeding by division reputation, or you can do it completely random. It's exciting. Cup rounds, it automatically picks cup rounds. Starting 16th of the 2nd, with 252 teams added. So if you leave it to itself, it will do it as randomly as you can. So in this case, what you want to do, probably if you want it purely random teams, that means that you could get 2 for Premier Division teams playing each other in the first round, and so it goes. You can set time. You can set lots of different things. You can see date of leg, second leg. We don't need a second leg. Stadium played, home stadium, national, neutral, specific, so on and so forth. And also the prize money, money for loser, and appearance money. So there's a lot you can do. You can add a third place playoff if you want. Why? And then substitution rules, match day rules, which could, for example, include number of foreign players, minimum number of under 23s, and so on and so forth. We don't need this, so let's just remove this. So that's us doing cups, fixture rules. Now, the thing is, I'm going to now get rid of that. All that work will be for nothing. Actually, wait, before I get rid of it, I'm going to test the competition. Divisions to simulate down to, Division 2, create test. So, different things will come. I have teams set to be relegated from the first division, but there's no division below it, so meh. Any other problems? No. There, reminds me again, this has been a problem. So, create new test. Hang on, let me get out of here. Yeah. Let's see if I can do this. I've never tried this. Let's see if I can just add just the FAI Cup. Irish Challenge. Okay. Let's see if that works. Create new test. Yeah, no, it's still looking at the first division. So what I'm going to be doing is, well, we'll see how that cup goes at a later point. But for now, into the bin of history. Meanwhile, I'll create a very simple one, First Division Cup. So again, same kind of technique. Go in, it's not a Super Cup, it's an other cup. Select competition. And actually, let's do the League Cup instead, because that's slightly different and more difficult in some ways. So let's add teams. There's a reason for picking 16s for the top 4, because it makes it really, really easy to set this kind of a competition up. I did odd numbers in the past, and the preliminary games really gutted me a lot of the time. Settings. Number of legs, 1. Let's see, did I hit the right thing? Other cup, next. Settings. Go again with the standard. It's FAI, so we'll say 3 from 7. We'll put it on Wednesdays, and we'll put it in with. Now we'll leave it at 1 leg. However, now we can do some really fun, weird stuff with that. Let's go into the League Cup itself. So the general setup is other cup knockout rounds. No. Group stage, then knockout rounds. That makes it interesting. 4 groups, number of rounds in group stage. We don't need that many games. We don't want to break the players. So 4 groups of 16 each is way too many. Let's go for 16 groups of 4 each. I have a start date for the group section of February 2019. Don't want to make that mistake. Starting on the 13th. Okay. And an end date for the group stage. Basically, you have to play 3 games. 1, 2, 3. Let's end it on the 24th. Set that. The big disappointment is you can't sort of like pick 2 days for a group stage for a little bit of intensity. League sorting rules. And I know this sounds silly. I always add these in. Actually don't know what's the official goals for. Matches. Let's see. Matches between teams. And let's see. Games won away. No, we don't want to put games won away for. Yeah, let's get rid of that last one, because with 3 games you're going to be playing 2 home and 1 away, or 2 away and 1 home, and that wouldn't be fair. Let's remove that rule. Match day for the week. Competition is Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, 19 hours. All fairly straightforward. We can pick how many teams we want, but we're okay with all these. Competitions finished before setting up. Nope. Match time, match rules. Competitions to finish for. No, I don't think we need match rules on this. Not on the. Oh well, I suppose it's the rest of the competition. Cup rounds. Okay, so now it changes a little bit. So we have 16 teams going through. Hang on. Let's see. General. 64 teams. 16 groups. So we want the first round, number of qualifying rounds 0. Okay with that. We want 16 teams going into 8 games. So 16 to 8 we'll remove and remove. Both of those. Let's put the final maybe just after the June break. Remember the June break, folks? Yeah, the break in June. And let's put it a week after the June break. So the June break ends around the 16th. We'll put it on Sunday, the last Sunday in June. We'll make that the June the cup final day for this, and we'll have a single leg. 3 o'clock in the afternoon sounds like a good time. that time of year. We therefore have to change this to being back maybe in May. And let's make a two-legged semi-final. Okay, number of legs, 2. Home team and away team. National stadium for this. Let's go neutral stadium. Because I like the idea of it getting around. Do you know what I mean? So 18th to the 5th, let's see. So change this. And we'll have the first round after the group stages. I think we said the group stages to be ending on the 24th. Let's have the first round on the 27th. Or the first knockout round. Cancel that. Go away, go away, go away. Actually, no, let's not cancel that. Search. Add condition. Well, actually, just apply filter. It should give us the detail. So, in putting it in order, we can get a number of things. So that'll be the final. This will be search. Where's the semi-final? This will be search. This, you can see why I tend to do these all at the same time, because then when I click on this, anytime I'm doing a final, it comes up here. And one final search, first knockout round is what I'm looking for. If I don't see it here, I can create it basically. First preliminary round, second qualifying phase, North playoff. You've got so many different options because they're trying to cover all kinds of leagues everywhere. First stage, second stage, championship group, promotion. You can see how specific it all goes for third round qualifying, second qualifying. Let's try going by name first. First knockout round, 164. I would have been here for a while, wouldn't I? And that's on the 27th. Let's change this quarterfinal date to being sometime in April. We'll put on the 3rd of April. And let's do double legs for all of these then. Be damned. Click. Oh, wait, what's going on here? I'm confused. Can I click on that? Yep, 2. We'll have a one-off final and we'll change. Oh dearie me. That needs to be, they all need to be at 7 in the evening really, because there's nobody going to go to a game on a Wednesday that's in the middle of the day. I mean, I would, but I might not be able to. I think most of us would go to a Wednesday game in the middle of the day, partly because it would mean we're off work, and which of us hates that? So 18th to the 5th. Let's go back here to May. 18th is not when I wanted that. Let's put it the 22nd. And we'll change that. Oh, maybe I'm hitting the wrong button. Cancel that. I need to change these. Again, more cracking YouTube here. The excitement just does not stop, does it? And 3rd of the 4th. That's what follows the 3rd of the 4th. Let's go 1 month beyond. 10th. And there we've got a relatively decent setup. Now you can see the problem I'm having here. I want to change this, so I'm actually going to go downstairs to change this. Let's get this here. Let me find. I'll go away. I don't want that stuff. Nation rules. Click on that, and I should be able to change it down here. Yep, there we go. 15th. In keeping with the Wednesday mantra. So, nice early season competition. Get it out of the way. That's why I think League Cup should be kind of partly warm-ups, partly trying to get things going. Specific stadiums. Meh. Prize monies. Now, my inclination is always to put... well, you know what? Let's not worry about prize money right now. Let's worry about saying good luck to you. It's half an hour. I always say I'm going to do this in 20 minutes, and it never takes 20 minutes. It always takes a lot longer. But hopefully that should give you an idea. We now have a cup, a couple of divisions, and a couple of other bits and pieces. The next day round, what am I going to do the next day? Remind me, self. The next day, my aim is to talk a little bit more about the specifics of editing teams. So I'm going to be creating, for example, or developing Duncannon, their pitch, and the bits and pieces I need to go with that. And then exploring beyond that, developing another club. And so building from scratch a club and taking a club that exists and expanding it out. So thanks a million for listening to me. Or watching me, or both. I know my wife would like to make sure that I'm being watched at all times. Not that she's paranoid, it's just she knows what I'm like. And I'm not that bad. I really am not. No, I'm not. And my wife's that good that I don't need to be that bad. So, I mean, it works out for everybody. But for now, I'll see you a little bit later. I don't know when this one's going to go up. Probably about a week after the last night's one. And... yeah, we'll talk soon. Take it easy. Bye.